Hey guys, welcome back to Sip, Savor, and Celebrate. I'm Chris, and yeah, Devin can't make it today. He's feeling a little under the weather, so I'm going to take the reins. I've got this, I swear. Today, we are introducing you to Arturo. He is the owner of Lost Lore. I've been seeing this all over the social medias, and it is, of course, from one of my favorite distillers over at Viva Mexico, or the Vivanco family, 1414. And I just had the privilege of actually just meeting Sergio Cruz over there the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and it was so much fun. But Arturo, tell me, or if I may ask, what brought you to like, hey, I'm gonna make a tequila?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the reason why I'm in this right now is because my family has been in agave spirits for about 100 years.
Whoa.
So my great grandfather, he used to make mezcal in Zacatecas, Mexico, in the 1920s. It was a craft that he passed down to my grandfather, and it was a craft that was passed down to my father. And then my father moved to the United States in the 1970s. He was actually a migrant farmer. So
Okay.
he was picking oranges in Florida. He was in California for a little bit, and then he settled over here in the Chicagoland area, and that's where we're based out of. So growing up, I was super, super intrigued about agave spirits because I'd hear it all the time from my family. So I really tried to learn as much as I can. And about 3 years ago, I said, "Hey, I want to start a brand. I want to, a couple of different reasons. Of course, I'm a agave head, but on top of that, it's kind of like a tribute to my family, especially my father, who kind of came over here and gave up a lot over there to be over here to give us more opportunity."
No, that's kind of awesome, actually. One thing I
Thank you.
just picked up on, you said agave head. I think I'm gonna need to adopt this saying because, like, I literally got the agave bug, and this is only just a small sample of the tequila I have. I have literally probably over 300 bottles of tequila at this moment,
Yeah.
just in this room alone. um, and I'm
That's awesome, man. You got quite the collection over there.
I'm enjoying it, and Chicago. Actually, I go there because they have some great stores to be able to pick up some great, tequilas that I can't find here in Michigan. I mean, heck, I love going over there to Morno's or La
Yeah,
Venta. Those are
yeah.
two of my favorite must go to. I've probably been there already 3 times this year.
No,
Just
that's awesome, man.
Chicago's not too far from Michigan, where I'm at, so we love to make a trip over there and get it too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. When you come over here, let me know because I'd love to have a tequila with you.
we need to, man. I'm down, and I'll make sure that Devin's up for it too, so we can head over there and have a good time. It's
Awesome.
just so close to us, and it's a great, awesome city to visit by itself, as well as a great resource for some amazing tequilas and mezcals. Um, Man, there was a restaurant. I can't remember the name of it, of course, at this moment, but I was just in awe of all the collection that they had on the shelves, and it was just a beautiful place to go.
Yeah.
But let's start with your Blanco, if you wouldn't mind. I have poured out a little bit in each glass here for tasting, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit of the process about how you folks make your Blanco. Also, am I correct in assuming here, because I'm looking at these bottles, and is this all recycled glass?
It is, yeah. So we use
Bottle?
100% recycled glass. These are recycled Coca-Cola bottles.
Oh,
So we have a great, partnership with a company just outside of Guadalajara that makes these glasses for us. It's very artisanal. No glass is alike. You could
I,
look at them, and then you could see just the craftsmanship that goes into it. There's small bubbles in there. It's got a light blue hue
that's
because of the Coca-Cola bottles. It's beautiful.
I do love that. And I've noticed a lot of the I'm going to put this the better tequila companies. So we're going
Mhm.
to leave out those commercialized garbage that I can't stand. But a lot of the tequila companies that I've talked to, been to, and visited, a lot of recycling goes in, and they're more worried about, like, a lot. Some of them are even making their labels out of recycled agave fibers. They're recycling the glass. I mean, I just really find that not only admirable, but it makes me want their product even more for that reason. And I'm not saying that I'm a big conservationists. It's not that. It's just it kind of makes you feel a little better. Does that make sense?
For sure. I think for us, sustainability is important. But our partnerships are very important too. So, we're supporting vendors in Mexico, and these aren't large vendors; they're smaller vendors, and they have an artisanal product, and we want to support them. You want to support as many businesses as we can in Mexico too. So I agree with you 100%. But yeah, we're really happy with what we did with our bottle. We could have gone to a company that mass produces uh, bottles that don't have this type of character, but it just kind of wasn't us.
Right. No, and I appreciate. I want you to know that I do appreciate it, and I did notice. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
thank you.
so tell me about. Well, obviously, obviously, I know because I was there. But please tell our audience, how is your Blanco made?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything starts in the fields. If you have a good agave, you have a shot at making a good tequila. So we're very particular in the fields. We pull the agave when it's ready. It doesn't go by a certain amount of time. It's not like, hey, we wait 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. We're looking for a certain sugar content. So
Yeah.
once it hits sugar content, then we're pulling it out of the ground, and then it goes to our distillery. So Num 1414, right outside of the ovens, we're cutting it up into 2, 4 pieces, and then we're taking the cogollo out. So the cogollo is the middle part that's kind of bitter. So we don't want to put that into the ovens. We want just kind of like what's sweet. So we'll put it in the ovens and we'll let it cook for a total of about 50 hours. So half of that time will be with the steam on, and then the other half is going to be with the steam off. So we're letting it rest, and we're letting the conversion happen from starches and sugars. From there, we're going into a roller mill to kind of squeeze all the juices out. And then we go into fermentation. So fermentation is super, super important for us. So we are using a mixed fermentation of, champagne with rum yeast. Of course, there is a little bit of wild yeast in there too, because it's open fermentation. It's going to happen. It's going to get into the juice. There are a little bit of fibers in there. And our fermentation process is about 3 days of active fermentation. And then from there, we let it rest. But we're talking about maybe a total of, a little less than a week of total fermentation. And then
Yeah.
after that, we're going into distillation. So the great thing about Num 1414, it's 100% copper. So, twice distilled. As soon as you go over there, you see the big, big, big copper still. So we're putting it through there. We get our 3 cuts, and, from there, it's our Ordinario. So it's a lower ABV, and then we put it through the still again. And, it's coming out, a little bit more than 50% ABV. And then from there, we're bringing it down to our 80 proof, which is 40% ABV. So that's our Blanco.
What kind of
What's that?
water are you using to bring it down?
So, we are using deep well water. So it kind of goes through a system where, it's taking some of the unwanted stuff out of there. But a good amount of it. And then we're, kind of proofing it down to 80% proof, 40% ABV.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to talk about this right now because and I love this because I'm getting straight up cooked. I'm getting lots of agave, and that's what I want when I reach for a Blanco. I do want the smell and the flavor to be agave first, and that's the first thing I get. I also get a slight brininess to it, which I kind of
Mhm.
like that too. There's even a little citrus, kind of like a Bergmont, not exactly as sweet as a an orange, but more of a bitter citrus. If you know what I'm going, this is
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
getting. What do you get? I'm always
I,
interested.
I I agree with you 100%. I think that with Herb Blanco, our goal was to make it agave forward. So, first and foremost, you're going to get some beautiful cooked agave. From there, what comes through is a nice minerality. So we're getting a lot of minerals. I kind of I really enjoy Valley tequilas, and that was something that we were looking to kind of get a profile with.
Yeah.
So it's got some minerality, it's got some herbal notes in there, but definitely you get the citrus notes, something that Num 1414 to Vivanco, Sergio Cruz are known for. So it's kind of like the balance of all that just makes it a really, really unique tequila coming out of Num 1414.
So then, where are your agaves resourced from? Because I've noticed that a lot of agaves from the highlands seem to have more of that citrus, mint, and anise flavors,
Mm-hmm.
and then the valleys are more mineral, vegetal, briny-ish. But this kind of has a good mix of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is this? I guess where are these resourced from? Is it
Uh,
all?
so so the agaves come from the Vivanco family. So they have over 20 ranchos, is what they call them.
Okay.
So the ranchos, it's all on a highland. So this is highland agave.
Wow.
Yeah. So like what's nice, I think that fermentation is really where you're starting to get, some of that minerality from. You could get it from multiple things. The one would do that. There's different processes that will give you more of that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's definitely coming from fermentation.
Okay. Yeah, because I get more of that sometimes. Like I'll get that with the folks that use cement fermentation tanks, kind of like Cascoine for one. They
So,
use.
Wayne, isn't that cool?
Yeah, is that really? I was just there, and I love the place. I enjoyed. I felt so honored and humbled at my experiences at all of the distilleries. Ana Maria, there with Hacienda Vieja, but she also has done some stuff over at the Vivanco distillery as well.
Uh-huh.
She was just an amazing host to us for the first 2 days and talked about what yeasts produce which flavors and smells. And she talked about fermentation techniques as well, just like you did just a minute ago, about getting certain flavor and nose to certain tequilas. All right, enough
Yeah.
talking. Let me get it. Let me get it. I saw you got one, so but salute.
So,
Wow.
so Chris, is this your first time having it?
This I just opened it up, poured it into the glass, getting ready for you.
That's so cool, man.
I
That's
like to
so
do
cool.
that. I think I want an honest review. If you see it
Yeah.
in my face, like, okay, that's not this one. This is
Uh-huh.
wow. This is a beautifully sweet agave first, followed by a beautiful mint. The mint on this is so. It's like effervescence. It's almost like to me, this one is kind of like the oh, what is that? Like an evergreen bubble gum or like chewing gum. It's
Yeah,
got
I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that. I mean, I love sipping my tequilas neat, but this I bet would make a great margarita or a ranch water. I
For
think
sure.
you can't go wrong with that. Wow, that is
Yeah, but I'm with you. I prefer my tequila neat always, whether it's a blanco, reposado, añejo, extra añejo, joven, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
But I enjoy a good cocktail, so I'm with you. I think the ranch waters are awesome for blancos. For reposados, I do reposado old fashions all the time.
Oh
So
yes.
I
I haven't
definitely.
tried it yet, so I'm not sure what profile it'll have. But yeah, I mean, literally, I just got it the other day. I sent you a photo. I'm like, it's here.
Yep,
uh,
that's
no,
awesome.
yeah, I find myself like when I'm chilling at home or if I'm chilling in the hot tub, I like to drink it neat. When I'm
Yep,
partying up with friends and having some friends over, we seem to have more cocktails strewn about because not all of my friends are fans of neat anything.
uh,
But wow, that is beautiful. It's not syrup sweet, and I want to correct this to a lot of folks because when I say
mhm.
I don't want the first thing you're thinking of is something like an addictivo that is just like straight up sugar water, and that's not what this
Yep,
is. This
yeah,
is sweet agave, and it's beautiful mint. The brininess that was on the nose, it goes away to me. I'm getting the beautiful highlands when I drink this one. So like when I get like a Fortaleza, that brininess on the nose and the salt and the olive almost goes right through to the drink. This one I don't get that. And I'm okay with that. I'm really, really okay because I think this is delicious.
thank
And
you.
super smooth, super delicious. I love the nose, and I think the taste is just amazing. So tell me
Yeah.
about the reposado, because now we're talking about resting it from 2 months to under a year. But what is it your practice?
So what we're doing for the reposado is we're putting it in ex Jack Daniel whiskey barrels at a higher proof. So we put it in a higher proof so they could extract a lot of those flavors from the barrel. So
Okay.
we're looking for oak, we're looking for a little bit of caramel, we're looking for some vanilla. So we leave this one in here. It's right just under half a year,
Okay.
and we feel that's the right amount for it because we always want any of our barrel age expressions to be agave forward. So we feel like we get a good agave character first, and then from there we start going into some flavors of the oak.
Okay. So with the Jack Daniels barrels that you're using, are these like first run with the tequila, or is this used many times before we've gotten to this?
Yeah, a lot of these are going to be fresh dump barrels, which is really nice because we're getting some really nice characters from the whiskey.
Yeah.
So again, we don't want it to be a whiskey forward. In that case, we'd rather have a whiskey. But
Yeah.
in this case, with Jack Daniels, you get some nice mellow tones, and we're really think that it works with the agave forward profile that it has.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. You're right. Beautiful, mellow. You're right. That's the best way to describe it. I am getting those vanillas, the caramels. What am I? I'm getting something like a butterscotch almost.
Uh huh.
So it's on the nose. I'm definitely on the sweeter side of things. Um, One thing I would say is that I'm not getting any agave when I get to this one, and maybe it's my nose tonight, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting it smells amazing because I'm getting a lot of the sweeter side of things, the caramels, the butterscotches, and all that,
Yep.
and that's okay with me because it gives me another profile to use in my arsenal of tequilas because you're right, there are some that have some like straight up whiskey flair, and if you've ever gone through any of our videos where I'm talking about a reposado, a lot of times I say, man, this has got a lot of whiskey flair to it. Just means that it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like taking a bottle of whiskey and you're shooting it down. This one does not. um it's beautiful on the sweet side. Yeah, that's exactly what I get. The butterscotch, vanilla, and caramel.
Yep. Agreed.
Maybe just a small hint of chocolate, but like a white chocolate. if that makes sense.
Yep,
All right, let's
absolutely.
salute. Oh, wow. This has got so much barrel sweetness. That's the best way I can explain it. It's kind of like your favorite bourbon, your favorite sweet, balanced bourbon. This is
Hmm.
tequila that has that beautiful bourbon sweetness to it. Not syrup, but sweet bourbon. That's the best way I can explain this one. I hope
Yeah.
that offend. Um,
No, I agree 100%. I I definitely my preference are blancos always. But when it came to developing with the profile for reposado and añejo, we wanted again to keep the agave, the sweetness there, and then be a expression that someone can jump from the bourbon or whiskey world into tequila, because we see a lot of people, whether it's a party at my house, whether we're out for dinner somewhere, where they're like, well, I don't like tequila because I had a bad experience with it, but I like bourbon or I like whiskey. And as soon as we give them a little bit of reposado or añejo, it doesn't even have to be our brand, as long as it's a quality
yeah.
tequila. Then it's like a nice bridge for them, because it's like, okay, cool, I'm getting some of the notes that I'm really really familiar with when it comes to the whiskey and bourbon world, but this is different.
Yes, and that's you kind of stole my thunder. That is exactly where I was going to go with that, because you're absolutely right. I come from, I mean, first I started my venture was a lot of wines, and we have some amazing wine country in northern Michigan. And then I went from there, I went over to the whiskey and bourbon world, but then I had some tequila that was actually delicious, and it was downhill from there. I have not
So
stopped.
yeah, it's you caught the bug,
I,
Chris. So it's
maybe a
that's
little
what
too.
happens. Fortunately, for a lot of us, it's we get into this realm of agave and just like exploring it and really appreciating this plant.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing that there's so many different flavor profiles that come from agave. It's wild, man. It's super 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 crazy.
It is, and even though it's made from the same plant, it like I can grab this bottle and my Don Fulano, and they're going to be two different flavors and noses, but they're both the same plant. You know what I mean? So I absolutely love it. I love it. Let's go on to your anejo. Tell
Sure.
me about this one, if you wouldn't mind, please.
So with the añejo, we're leaving it in the Jack Daniel whiskey barrels for a little bit longer of a time. So we're in these barrels for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Um, so a little bit longer, and what's really nice is everything starts to mellow out a little bit. So again, we definitely want it to be agave first, but of course, once you start leaving tequila in for a longer period of time, you start leaving the agave starts going away just a little bit, and we get a little bit more barrel contribution. It's something that's going to happen just because of the barrel aging process.
Right.
So those flavors that you had in the reposado, everything that was related to the barrel, the oak, a little bit of the vanilla, the caramel, a little bit of the butterscotch, it starts getting a little more amplified.
Okay. Okay. Let's go. Honestly, I am starting to get. I think I get more. More of the agave, but I get those things that we just talked about
Mhm.
from here. But I think I'm getting more back with the because okay, I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't mix them up. But
Mix
I,
them up, yeah.
the agaves come back. I feel like I do get some some agave first, and then everything else is in the same pool. All those
Uh-huh.
caramels and vanillas. Some chocolate. There is a little brine back to this, just a little. It's not overpower. It's not overpowering.
It's complex, which
Very complex.
is yeah, really really nice. I definitely really enjoy this expression. Again, I'm a Blanco guy, but if I'm not drinking Blanco, I definitely start gravitating towards, the expressions are a little bit more barrel aged. We don't have extra añejo right now. We'd love to do one at some point, just to really, really showcase, kind of like what the barrel can do.
Right.
But yeah, it's a beautiful expression that we're really happy with how it came out.
Let me ask you this. Maybe I'm just a crazy guy, but I feel there's a couple of my friends and I feel like the colder the weather gets, and you're in Chicago, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I tend to gravitate to the repos and the añejos during the winter months, but when it's hot, there's nothing better than the blanco.
I,
That's
I agree.
I mean, I do drink the blanco all year long. Don't get me wrong there. I just
Yeah.
feel like these hit better when it's cold out.
Yeah.
Call me
I
crazy.
agree. Yeah. I mean, over here, it snowed on Halloween, and that was probably the first time I had añejo in a long, long time. It's añejo season, it's cold over here. It snowed
Yeah,
this morning. So,
it's sweater weather.
yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is. I think I'm getting everything that we talked about before from this, but now I am getting some more pepper added. I'm getting more of. I think I'm starting to get some of the whiskey contributions.
Uh-huh.
So there, it's in the lasting flavors. It's kind of the finish of it is
Yeah.
giving peppers. Um, I'm getting mint from the agave. I'm getting chocolate and vanilla. Um, it's very buttery. I mean, I do like that. It's a really. I think it's a great job. Of course, hats off Sergio. Of course. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. I mean,
I
Sergio does an amazing job, with all the brands that he works with. And what's really really impressive with Sergio is it's not the same juice, across the board. It's like different profiles with everybody. So we're really happy with how this came out. I again Blanco guy, but barrel aged expressions are really important for us too. I think that it's good to have diversity in tequila. And, we're really, me and him, we're going to start exploring some different barrels. We do have a project coming up here where we're putting our reposado and we're going to finish it in beer barrels. So, we have some barrels from Revolution Brewing. So it's a barley wine barrel, multiple barley wine barrels. So we're putting our reposado in there. We're going to leave it in there for about a month or so. We're going to see how it tastes, and then leave it in there a little bit more if we need to. But we're finishing our reposado in these barrels. So that's going to be here for the Chicago, the Illinois market. And then we have another project with a brewery in California. The name of the brewery is Bottle Logic. So, they were kind enough to give us some barrels, some stout barrels. So it's going to be the same thing. We're going to put some reposado in stout barrels. We're going to let it sit there for a month or two, finish it off, and then we're going to bring that to the California market. So they're going to be kind of exclusive to those markets. So it'd be fun, kind of like, trying to get them. But yeah, California brewery, California reposado, Illinois brewery, Illinois reposado.
Well, Illinois isn't that far from me, so you just got to give me the heads up. Hey, it's here. I can make my way.
Yeah.
How about, because a lot of the great companies that are coming out right now have been hitting the markets with some a high proof edition. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm happy you asked. So come early next year, it's probably going to be late February going into March. We have 6 different tequilas coming out. So we're going to have our Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. And then the new variants or the new SKUs are going to be the 2 that I just mentioned, with the barrels from Revolution Brewing and barrels from Bottle Logic. But we have a high proof too. So we're super excited about it. It's going to be 100 proof, 50% ABV. A little different than everything else that's coming out in NUM 1414. There is not anything that is at 100 proof. So there's other ones that are 48, 49. So we're going to be right at 100. So we're super excited about it because, again, my favorite expression is Blanco. So we're going to get more intense agave flavor, more intense minerality, more intense citrus. And, we're really, really excited to bring that to market.
I actually think it 1 second. I just want to make sure some things mixed up. This one is hasn't hit our markets yet, but it was a gift.
Yeah, great tequila. Yeah, Tao.
Oh my God. And Martine is such an amazing person, as well. But I do believe this one is, where did it go? Because of course you can't read today. This one is I think it's actually 106.
Yeah, which is beautiful. I come from the Mezcal family, so it's like Mezcal is usually higher ABV. I mean, I've seen a ton of them, mid 50s, higher, 50s, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful profile, and you just get so much flavor. You get so much aroma from it. It's really nice.
Oh, you know what? It's not listed in. Oh, here it is. Nope. You are correct. Yours will be higher. This is 48.
Okay, cool.
48. I thought it was higher though. From when he was telling me that, but yours is going to beat him. You're going to beat him.
not by much, but they do an amazing job. And I want to definitely give a shout out to Grand Avejo. Those are the guys who really put me on the high proofs. They come out with a beautiful high proof with so much flavor. But we're seeing a lot more high proofs right now. And I really, really enjoy, what's coming out from these other distilleries. They're doing a really, really nice job.
I agree. I mean, that's why I asked, is because I just poured my second glass of your Blanco. I do love this, and I'm just curious what it would be before you cut it.
I have to bring you a little sample to try out one of these days.
I would love that. I would love that mostly. And I appreciate you coming on. It's it's Tuesday night, and you've had some prior engagement before here. I do want to thank you personally for coming on the channel, putting up with my kooky butt.
You were amazing.
I enjoy tequilas. I love mezcals. I don't have near as many mezcals as I've got tequila. I don't have anything as much as I've got tequila, but I do enjoy a good, I've got a great Palama Pachuga from Michoacan that is just, it's amazing. But that's for the hardcore. That one actually was fermented in a cow's hide.
Yeah,
I
love it.
Hey, we're getting out there, man. This
Yeah,
is
I love
amazing.
it.
This is amazing. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything else you want to let us know that's coming up? Because you've given us quite a bit of secrets out here, and I'm appreciative.
Yeah, you're one of the first to know about what we're doing. We're super excited for 2024. We launched summer of 2023. We're a small family company, so we're learning the ropes. For us, we're focused on quality first. So definitely look out for a lot of other variants coming out on what we're doing, whether it's going to be a reposado or a different añejo or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So we're definitely taking that approach with Sergio, the whole Vivanco team, Sergio Vivanco, Sergio Cruz, just amazing. I mean, just like really really down to earth, great people. So we're really really happy to be partnered up with them. So yeah, that's about it. Just look out for 2024 because it's going to be fun.
I agree. That family is so awesome because when we stopped over there, it was like 7:30 at night. The place is closed down, dark as all get out. And Martine's like, "Come in, come on over, come over. I got a gift for you." And that's when he gave me the high proof. And we sat down with Sergio and Martine, and they had one of their gentlemen from the production portion. His name is Jerry, and he came over and he was our translator for us because I
Okay,
don't
cool.
speak Spanish and he doesn't speak as much English. As a matter of fact, his comment was, "I can either learn English or make tequila. Which one do you want me to do?" And I'm like, "Make tequila, make tequila."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like friends and had an amazing evening just drinking tequila, having a couple bites of some amazing Oaxacan cheese. And I tell you what, I'm humbled by the experience and such really good people. That's the
Yeah,
number one thing, great people. But
agreed,
thank you
100%.
again, Arturo. I appreciate you coming on. Folks, always remember to sip, savor, and celebrate. Don't forget to hit that subscription button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Keep an eye out. We're going to have more great people like Arturo on. And you know what? When he comes out with one of those other experiences, expressions, I'm going to try and get my hands on it and we'll have him back on and we'll talk about it again. But until then, always remember sip, savor, and celebrate. Salud.
Cheers.